Hi friends, in Planet Earth Dating, it's Sunday, November 22nd, 2015. Ra here in the Lynn-Life, Black Wolf in the Lynn-Body-Mind, other teammates including Pan in other aspects of the physical dimension, all of us in the physical dimension and in the subatomic levels of the physical from the perspective of the spirit world viewers. Our focus is fully on the nature realms and probably will continue to be until the next deadline, which is the start of the Advent season. That occurs at midnight on November 28th. The following deadlines continue in nested fashion until January 17th, 2017. That is the deadline that wiser minds above have set to provide a collective restart. The data clearly showing that that is what is needed in order to manifest the divine plan. As always, our intention is to do whatever is ours to do right now in all dimensions to meet those deadlines, provide a collective restart, and manifest the divine plan. And with that, it begins. I think Aerosmith is doing better now that he's reaching down from probe.
That's true. Longer.
It makes sense for vortices to stretch by reaching downward. His direction of stretching might be opposite of everyone else's. That actually makes sense. They've always started floating in air. All the vortices I've ever watched birth and grow,
that's true,
always start in the air and
that's like screwing downward, stretching downward.
Alright, Aerosmith, can you reach down just a little bit farther until you are to that floor where Asha and Pan are? Oh, he doesn't want to.
He doesn't want to. He can. He doesn't want to.
Are you willing?
Yes.
Thank you. Now we'll all do it with you.
That's true.
Let's merge and pulse and bifurcate all those who intend to do the work as assigned by wiser minds above to specifications in every moment to the center. A slow, inexorable bifurcation to give people plenty of opportunity to understand the choice they're making. Get the current flowing. Those who don't wish to do the work as assigned by wiser minds above to specifications in every moment. The current is now moving them away from the midline. So people can, in that experience, make a different choice. They can say, hold on, this isn't what I want to be doing. And they can choose to do the work as assigned by wiser minds above to specifications in every moment. And sometimes we aren't aware that that's the choice we're making. We have gotten some switch flipped in the back of our angry heads. And we're just headed in the wrong direction fast, and we don't realize that we aren't doing the work as assigned by wiser minds above, that all we're doing is what we want to do to accomplish the goal. My story is that the bifurcation is separating out many of those nature realms, 550.
That's true.
And that they don't like the reality that they're being separated out on a bifurcation call.
That's true. I feel them swimming against the current.
Swimming against the current. And all you actually have to do is change your mind and intend. Flip it upside down and intend to do the work as assigned by wiser minds above to specifications in every moment, and then you'll be going with the current, not against it. Attitude counts for so much. In the healing practice, for so many years, people would say, what am I supposed to be doing with my life? And what they were doing was close to what they were supposed to be doing, but they were doing it with a terrible attitude, not a good attitude. And what needed to change was their attitude and the way that they were relating to life.
That's true.
Just live streaming that up, because my working theory is that that's the phenomenon that we're seeing here, and not looking down my nose at anybody.
No, I've done that too.
Me too, me too.
Over and over and over again.
A common pattern.
That's true. Just got a really sudden sharp tightness in the head.
Mm-hmm. So probably some of our spirit world viewers don't like this inconvenient reality about themselves, and they wish to pretend that they aren't doing that, but that doesn't make it so.
That's true.
Let's bifurcate even taller, even higher.
That feels really good.
I feel like the wizard is here. And he's
That's
asking
true.
something or saying something, and he doesn't feel as bad as he has at other times, but he also is not wanting to follow the instructions from wiser minds above. He wants to do it his way.
That's true.
This does never work. It
No.
never works.
And it's like the sound of the plan from wiser minds above sounds like a symphony, and the sounds of the plans that he's coming up with sounds like playing on a baby
kazoo.
piano.
Oh, I hear a kazoo when you hear
Yeah.
a baby piano. The same idea.
Concept.
How may we be of service
Right
right now
now
to provide a collective restart by
January
January 17th, 2017. Again, my focus is brought to the condition of the search for truth pillar and what happened to it over the last week during a combination of events that included disruption of the cloistering
That's true.
of the physical presences at this level, and it seems to have included the dismantling of the machines in the machine zone.
That is true.
And it definitely included the transition of all 7 members of the spirit world of the Search for Truth team.
That's true.
And it included getting Pan back here.
That's true.
Okay, that's where to focus. He's awake, he's conscious. Asha's been working for almost 24 hours.
That's true.
And to get out the lies that were shoved into him like a cork. It's as if he had some inconvenient, ugly truths inside of him,
That's
things
true.
he had viewed or had become aware of, and the lies were shoved in like a cork in a bottle,
That's true.
to keep the truth from coming out. When the nature realms leaders, who we're referring to as Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego,
Yes.
when they and that other group of maybe 7 or so nature realms leaders brought Pam back yesterday, and Asha started pulling out the lies, then these ugly, really ugly truths started coming up
That's true.
about what's going on upstairs in the nature realms, gods, quote unquote, while basically we have Dickensian England, so to speak, for the nature realms here in the physical dimension.
That's
The
true.
nature realms is suffering deeply, and their gods are wasting their lives.
Playing games, telling lies.
Having affairs, smoking opium, being disgusting.
That's
They're
true.
wasting their lives being disgusting. And what do I know? I know that that's what happened in France before the French Revolution.
That's true.
And that's the feeling that we have now.
That's true.
What now?
But no.
Do you hear that sound?
I heard the thump.
Yeah,
It seemed to come as if from...
from nowhere. There's nothing to make that sound. Well, first I'm checking for Luce, but I still don't find him anywhere.
No,
That
I
wasn't
don't
Luce.
feel him.
It might have been for Pan. No, might have
It's-
been for Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
It's bigger than we're looking.
For them, not from them.
Yes, yes.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It might be for Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Abednego it is.
But it's from way, way up.
It's from way, way up. All right. Well, quite clearly, what matters most is survival of the truth.
That's true.
And once that is present, what matters most is the constant presence of truth. Without
That's
truth
true.
present, we're helpless to discern what's really going on, and we can't tell what the instructions are from wiser minds above.
That's true.
And all of us must develop this, what is a new habit, of continually working to clear the lies and untruths from our experience.
That's true.
To detangle the truth from the untruth about our experience of life. We all want to pretend that what we're doing is more important than that, and that we don't have time to detangle the lies, which is crazy, and that's why all that is the disaster that it is.
That's true.
Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, may I please have eye contact?
Well, they didn't like that.
No, I know. But here's the thing. We have the assignment, we here as the spirit realm's presences seem to have the assignment to have this search for truth pillar completely upgraded and back to standards by the start of the Advent season, and for ourselves to be strong and healthy enough to go back out into the projects and begin again. Because no help is coming from anywhere. We have run an experiment and have proven that miracles cannot be delivered. We have now fallen below the cutoff. We are now part of the group that is trapped in the physical dimension without higher dimension support.
They're nodding.
Which explains what happened in a session with a client the other day when the higher-ups said, "What are you doing down there?"
That's true.
From the other side of the plexiglass.
That's true.
Right.
It seems like what's happening is they've decided that they want to blame spirit world people in general for the problems that are facing their nature realms in particular.
Community. That's interesting. What do you base that on?
And they're saying something that doesn't sound true. It's like we didn't have any of these problems until the boundaries started getting fuzzy and spirit world people started coming into our meetings, and it's not you, we like you, like you're our spirit world friends, but it's those other spirit world people that are bad people.
Right.
I'm not prejudiced against you.
No, I like you. It's
like
those other
you.
Middle Easterners.
Right, exactly.
I like you. It's those other
Muslims
Right.
that are bad people.
Right, so here's what we have discovered. We too have had this feeling of, goodness gracious, this went bad so quickly. How did that happen?
That's true.
And then when we have gone back through the archives and reviewed old records, we have discovered there were signals that had been coming in that were showing us that it was going bad for a really long time.
That's
and
true.
we just weren't picking it up. For example, in the nature realms, start talking about the issue of invasive species. Invasives as opposed to exotics. True, the plants and animals are being relocated, and that makes them exotics. The decision to become an invasive as opposed to an exotic is the decision to invade the new lands, the new territories. And
That's
this is,
true.
of course, no different than Europeans did to North Americans.
That's
there was
true.
a decision to invade. So we're not saying that humans are any different than any other form of invasive species. But let's take hardcore invasive species, just pick something and look at that. And can you see how that's something gone wrong?
Yeah, they're nodding, and they don't feel as angry.
And is there anything to do with the spirit world in the decision of New Guinea flatworms or Brazilian peppers or love bugs or any of the other invasives?
No, they're saying I can't see any spirit world involvement in that.
No. Find an invasive where there's any spirit world interference, if you can.
They're saying like, okay, I can see how that's not true.
So it was going bad without spirit world interference.
Yeah, that's
right?
true. They're starting to feel less angry.
And Pan himself looks a little less exasperated.
That's true.
That comment was an argument that apparently has been simmering for a while.
That's true.
He was feeling pretty done with it.
And now I don't hear them making any arguments.
So we have the assignment to get this search for truth pillar pristine by the end of the Advent season. And I don't mean any disrespect. I really don't, because I understand what it means to adopt a new habit and how long it can take to establish that in place.
That's true.
But the levels of the subatomic in the search for truth pillar, where the nature realm's presences are cycling, are not being cleaned. They are filthy. They are actually filthy, and we're having to come in and clean them. And this doesn't bode well for your ability to stay in contact with what's actually going on.
That's
and it's
true.
likely that by just almost grace, you're hanging on to some modicum of clarity here, like all the rest of us.
Like all the rest of us.
Like all the rest of us. And then when you go out, instantly the clarity will be gone because there's no clear space out there.
That's true.
And the only way that you'll be able to maintain the clear space when you're away from search for truth is if you have developed the habit and you are able to continue to create some clear space for yourself in a tough environment.
That's true.
Are you willing to try to set a good example for the rest of the nature realm's presences and see if you can make it cool to keep your space as clean as the top of a mountain? It doesn't feel like a no. So that is the assignment, that is the instruction from wiser minds above to make your workspace as clear as a mountaintop. Right now it smells more like a jungly swamp. Does not smell like a mountaintop.
That's true. If you're willing to try it.
All right, well, we'll see.
We'll see.
But friends, it isn't going to work without being in touch with what's really happening. Everything else is a fantasy. It is a fantasy. When we're rolling in lies,
that's true.
When we sleep with pigs, we get to smell like pigs. Thank you, Rich Confessori. You're not going to like where this road takes you if you aren't determined to have truth be constantly present. What matters most is survival of the truth. But once there is some element of truth present, what matters most is the constant presence of truth.
And we remember the point that came up earlier in the session that we can be doing almost exactly what it is we're supposed to do, but if our attitude is bad,
we're making it worse,
not better. And our attitude is actually the only thing we have control over in every moment.
That is true. Asha is saying it isn't going to work. All right, friends, Asha is charged with the responsibility of bringing Pan back to full health, so you cannot stay here in this room with Pan with this attitude. You'll have to go elsewhere.
That's true.
You can go to smaller subatomic levels and you can scrape with the coal shovels. Scrape up the untruths with the coal shovels, but you need to leave this space because Pan is still in a very delicate stage and Asha is in the middle of working to help him heal.
That's true.
And she calls the shots on this one.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
So you have to leave. It's like the intensive care nurse saying, okay, visiting hours are over, get out.
That's true. It feels like they're leaving.
It does feel like they're leaving. And now I see Asha turning to Pan and she's getting started again.
That's true.
Pan is saying something to Asha, but I can hear it. He's saying, I told them what was true and they didn't want to hear it.
That's true.
Yes, we know that feeling. How high do we have to reach in order to find a concentration of truth and integrity that's actually worth listening to?
That's true. That's the question.
Yes, and to have an open curiosity and an attitude of experimentation, and then we will continue to stretch higher in the face of all this disgustingness.
That's true.
Based on that, I don't think the nature realms are going to pull it off.
No, I think that was what that was about.
Yeah. All right.